Hello and welcome to another Doctor's Assistant 1 video. Today I'm doing a Doctor Who comic book review. This one's a new 7th Doctor one. I'm not sure if it's a 5 or 4-part miniseries, but wow, it was something else. An epic all-new adventure with the 7th Doctor, it says there. It's got the Titan Comics thing, issue 1. Operation Volcano, the new Doctor Who logo, which has started to grow on me, but I am so nitpicky with these things that I'm so used to just seeing it in yellow. I think the yellow would have really nicely popped, but then there are these like sort of little white specks of sort of stars and whatnot in the background, as well as Sylvester McCoy looking badass, wearing his sort of cream sort of white coat, which is a little bit of a nitpicky thing here again. In the issue he wears the brown one, so I would have liked it to match that one, but yeah, it's got BBC, Doctor Who, and then the 7th Doctor, and that the cover is just phenomenal. It's done in this sort of oil pastel sort of style, again, like pretty much majority of the first issues of all of the Titan Comics things, which I love. I love that they keep at least the first issues sort of in unison with that sort of oil pastel style, and I love the oil pastel style, so yeah. How many times can I say oil pastel style? Then on the back you've got like just advertisements for other things, like the graphic novels presumably, as well as the next issue. Hopefully that is not the cover, because that looks awful, if you ask me. I mean, I don't mind like so much that as a cover, more the artwork and the style of it. Variant covers, I mean, I kind of like that one the most, if not that one, then that one. I'm not too fussed with the other two, really. Then you've got, as usual, or what seems to be a standard thing now with the Titan Comics, Doctor Who ones at least, 12th, 11th, 10th, 9th, and then classic Doctors and multi-Doctor events of sorts, just showing you all of these sorts of different things. Another advertisement for the 10th Doctor, new 10th Doctor things, I presume, although obviously there is a bit of a teaser of another certain female Doctor. And then just stuff like, you know, you can get them on downloads and this and that. And then there is a little comic strip thing here, which I didn't even read or notice. And that, who wrote the story and that, which I did not realise who wrote it, and whatnot. But yeah, awesomeness. But yeah, I really enjoyed this read. I mean, the artwork is phenomenal. I mean, I don't know, it's iffy, really. It's it feels very Classic Who-esque, which isn't a bad thing, but for the fact that, you know, Classic series ended back in 1989, so it's been a while since we've had sort of Classic Who stuff. This issue did retail and or set me back £5 here in the UK, and that, but then again it is a lot more thicker than usual than say the standard one and that, and I mean, there is a lot here, and it was a lot longer and did take me quite a bit more time to read. What I mean by it's a lot Classic Who-esque, or more Classic Who-esque, is that there's the sort of first half, I'd say, if not more, very much sort of setting up the story and that, but also the characters, because there's quite a few of them. However, it does sort of take what feels like a bit of inspiration from, say, God forbid I say his name, depending on your personal preference of him, but Stephen Moffat, in the sense that it starts sort of sci-fi-esque, and then it's not until a bit later that we get the Doctor and gang, and that sort of more setup, and this and that, and you know, it has the countermeasure team of Group Captain Gilmore and those other two ladies who are part of the countermeasure team, who I can't remember their names off the top of my head, but yeah, which is not great. Again, the artwork is really phenomenal. I mean, look at that spaceship, that looks freaking amazing. And that, you know, but then you've got this weird social activist woman who just randomly appears partway through the story. I mean, for me personally, one of my biggest criticisms and or complaints of this story, purely as a story, wise, is that it's probably too sort of packed with too many different characters, so that was quite challenging to get my head around all of those things. But then there's quite a bit of action towards the latter end, you know, of like Ace punching some people, or a person even, and that, whilst nearly getting stabbed. So, you know, it's just that it's, I don't know, it's finding that balance. One thing I did find kind of weird was that the Seventh Doctor wears a sort of hazmat suit type thing for the fact that this area is blasted with radiation, and I was under the assumption that he was totally fine with radiation, and that Time Lords could soak up quite a lot of it. So, you know, clearly I might be wrong on that, I'm not 100% sure. But either way, it didn't bother me too much, just something that I noticed. But yeah, I think it was nice, it was good, because it seems kind of interesting, and it's got this sort of, it has this sort of jumper twee sort of style, to it, of being kind of grandiose in scale, having the military, so that reminds me of UNIT. You know, it's kind of, it mentions quite a bit of political stuff with the sort of things about the sort of nuclear bombs, or bombs even. I don't think the nukes, but still, you've got that sci-fi element. It's very, best episode I can compare it to is probably most recently, what was the episode called? It wasn't called Wars of Mars. Empress of Mars, was it? The Mark Gatiss one with the Victorians on Mars. Because again, it jumps about a bit with the sort of future stuff, but then also May 1967, but then also, you know, the year 2029, so, you know, so it does jump around between those two time periods, which might be challenging for some to deal with, but yeah, I mean, it's interesting, and I definitely want to pick up, obviously, issue 2, because they do leave it on a very good cliffhanger, and that, you know, the Seventh Doctor's cool in this. I mean, he's not, he doesn't, there's no real massive standout thing that he does or says, personally, but then again, he is this sort of arch manipulator character, or at least that's how he was in the TV show. I'm not sure where this would be placed in the timeline of the TV show, as I don't think anywhere here it tells you. It does, however, mention about previously what happened, so sort of what the story was in the Free Comic Book Day one, because there was a free in the Free Comic Book Day one, there was a Seventh Doctor story there, and this follows on from that, so that's what that previously thing is about. Then there's a bio on the Doctor, Ace, and Group Captain Gilmore, who I read all of those before reading this, so, as well as the previously thing. There's also, as usual, the Titan Comics website, Twitter, and Facebook, if you feel the need to give them any feedback of sorts. But yeah, I mean, it's really just a nice sort of read, really. It, as I say, it does have this sort of 007 sort of grandiose sort of global threat to it, you know, everyone's got these different sort of viewpoints and things about this sort of, you know, the sort of bombing in Australia and that, which I'm not actually sure if that's an actual thing that happened or not, but which makes me feel very stupid. But either way, it's a very interesting concept. If it's real, cool. Well, not cool, but if it's real, then there's more depth and more stuff I could research on this. If it's not, that's cool. Either way, it's pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, there's this photo thing as well. Photo thing of like the bomb thing, the volcano sort of thing, because they mentioned that the bomb will have got rid of some of the hill and or mountain to show the alien spaceship. But yeah, yeah, it was a good read, and I would highly recommend you pick this one up if you are a fan of the Seventh Doctor. So yeah, thanks for watching, comment, rate and subscribe.